having spent a little bit of time sort of big picturing this assignment, I want to go into more depth by talking through the evaluative rubric. So why would I start off by talking about the evaluation rubric? Well, because I think rubrics allow us to analyze specific things in a speech. So certainly speeches are more than the sum of their parts, but an understanding of these individual parts can make you a stronger speaker. So I just kind of want to walk through this evaluation rubric, and in so doing kind of give you a better sense for what these speeches are going to be like and what you as a speaker are going to get out of this experience. So to begin with, I'm looking at invention, and one of the concerns I have in invention are the main points. So you can see I'm interested in, does the speaker support the thesis with appropriate main points? Does the speaker explain how the main points supported the thesis clearly and effectively? So are the main points good on their own, and is the speaker doing their job in explaining the relationship between the main points and the thesis? So that's one invention category. Another invention category would be the support. Included appropriate and effective evidence for both main points and explained how the evidence supported the main points clearly and effectively. So once again, sort of presence and explanation. Did you have good evidence, and did you explain the evidence well? So it gets us to sort of both sides of the coin, preparation as well as performance. Then we get into arrangement. It's a short speech, but here's where we can really refine some basic arrangement habits that I hope you'll take to other speaking encounters. So in arrangement, does the speaker preview the speech clearly and effectively? The speaker transition between the speech's main parts clearly and effectively? Provided internal structure clearly and effectively, and reviewed the speech clearly and effectively, and provided a sense of closure. So those arrangement categories are, do we kind of have a good opening where I know where you're going? Can I really suss out those two main points? Within each main point, I've kind of got a sense for what you're arguing and what the pieces of support are. And then at the end, are you pulling it all together? So we've got invention, arrangement, and delivery. Now, we'll increase the amount of time and critical attention we devote to delivery in the future speeches. In this first impromptu speech, I'm concerned with, does the speaker appear confident? Does the speaker use projection effectively and appropriately? Does the speaker gesture and move effectively and appropriately for the speech and for the online setting? So that's kind of what that rubric aims at. Now, I want you to notice that everything on that rubric is something we talk about in class. Now, when I teach live classes, when I'm actually assigning a grade, and that's not the case here, but when I'm actually assigning a grade, I want to make sure I'm never holding a student accountable to something I didn't talk about as an instructor. So that rubric really is trying to get at those key skills and be very clear about how I'm going to be evaluating them. So this allows us to sort of divide our time in the unit. So you'll notice under main points, well, we spend a lecture talking about coming up with main points and then talking about how to relate those main points back to the thesis. So too with evidence, so too with all the arrangement things. So I like thinking through speech instruction through the lens of a rubric because it allows us to focus on perfecting very specific skills while at the same time seeing how those skills all work together in an excellent impromptu speech. So from this point on, you can use this rubric as a course guide, right? You could basically follow along with that rubric and see how we're picking up and responding to those various elements in the future lectures. Certainly, I would like you to use that rubric as a performance guide. So as you're practicing, look to those criteria and see how you're matching up in terms of those gauges. Are you hitting all those points? The payoff of a clear rubric is really evident when it comes to posting speeches online. So if you post speeches to the online platform, we use that rubric to improve the quality and the depth of the peer feedback you give and receive. And I really do think there's something that can really be gained by giving good feedback. You can become a better speaker by having a more critical approach to speeches. So that's the basic rationale behind the rubric, and hopefully that gives you an even better sense of what this impromptu speech is going to be about.